What is up, my fellow golf ball addicts? We are in our continuation of our top 100 golf balls for the 2025 season, and we are now getting to the good stuff. This is 40 through 31. Let's go ahead and dive right in. I am really glad you all are enjoying this series. I love all the wonderful comments and the feedback and the suggestions. Thank you all so much. There's a lot of work that gets put into this, and I'm really grateful that you guys are enjoying it as much as you are. So thank you so much. And also, if you want to support the channel further, we have that membership. It just starts at $1 a month, and it really helps the channel out a lot. Thank you so much. All right, without further ado, let's just get right to it, right? We got a lot to cover here. Let's start with number 40, and we are looking at the Bridgestone E12 Splash. This was one of the most fun reviews I got the chance to do this year, and that's because it really just mixed things up, right? You know, when it comes to golf balls, I have a ton that I play depending on the course conditions, right? If it's a big course or small course, or if it's tight fairways, if it's a championship. So when I saw this one, it really intrigued me because this is a golf ball, if you didn't know, it's intended for wet conditions. It comes with a patented coating that's designed to repel water. And what's really cool about that is that you can basically take it out when there's morning dew or if it's raining, and you can get similar performance to what it would do dry. And we did test that. It was a very long testing process, but it actually did really, really well. And this is a golf ball I would recommend to anybody to have in your bag in case it rains or in case there's wet conditions. It actually worked really, really well. It was fun. It was fun to play and fun to hit. But it also had some pretty good metrics. If we look, when it comes to the spin, no, it's not the best, I understand. But when it comes to the distance with the pitching wedge as far as the ball speed and just the total distance, it's top 20 in both, which is awesome. Again, it doesn't spin, but when we look at the 7-iron performance, you know, top 17 is awesome, top 6 is awesome, and it actually spun pretty decently with the 7-iron. It was compressing a little bit better. Then when we get to the driver, no, it's not great. Now, I did get some bonus points because my swing speed was a little lower than my average, so I had to do a little bit of calculation, but that's not where this golf ball is going to make its money. In fact, those driver performances remind me of the E12 Straight, which is what this golf ball is modeled after, so that kind of makes sense. So performance metrics are pretty good. If we look at the intangibles, you know, the only thing of note was that the durability is excellent. Whatever coating they use on the outside for the water repellent is also really good at durability. And so this is a fun ball. It tested really well, and it actually does what it's intended to do. And I would encourage anyone, if you play in wet conditions at least once or twice a month, grab a sleeve of these and have them on hand just in case. At number 39, well, you know what that means. Okay, this is going to be a golf ball that a lot of you love, a lot of you play, big on the market. What is it? Let's find out. At number 38, we're looking at the Kirkland Signature V3. And what's really funny about this ball is that I don't like reviewing it. I don't like reviewing any Kirkland ball because what I have found is that when it comes to the Kirkland, it's one of like 2 or 3 golf balls on the market that you're not allowed to criticize. Like, you're just not allowed to, because the Kirkland loyalist, I admire some of y'all's passion. I really do. But maybe chill, right? Because maybe it is just a golf ball, right? My main knock against the Kirkland this year was it's firmer, it's for faster swingers, and it can be bent left and right. And so if you're not that great of a golfer, you could slice it or hook it really bad. All those things are true. But this golf ball, when I said that, I heard, you know, the basic stuff. Nick, you suck, your channel's a farce, you know, all that stuff, and that's fine. But there were personal insults. There were personal insults to my mother over a golf ball, and then for what? We ended up in the top 40 anyway. So relax. Yes, I understand it's a great value. I understand you don't have to spend a lot of money. I understand my golf spy thinks it's the bee's knees. Just because my opinion was, hey, it's a decent golf ball, but maybe not for average golfers, relax. It's okay. Let's look at the metrics. 73rd in pitching wedge, or 50-yard spin, excuse me, not bad at all. Pitching wedge performance is pretty good, but it did not spin a lot with the wedge. I actually got 87th, which wasn't great. Then if we go into the 7-iron, not bad. Again, I wish the spin had been a little bit more, but it seems like this golf ball does have a tendency to spin more left and right than it just does backspin. And then driver, now I know driver says 101st and 108th, but again, this golf ball was actually tested at the lowest swing speed of the year For me. It was like 95.8. My average was 97.5. So I had to do calculations there. So this golf ball would have probably been in the 50s or 60s, somewhere in there. So it's actually a really good golf ball off the driver. Exactly where it would have fallen, I don't know. But the reality is it's awesome off the driver if you can hit it well, if you're a really advanced golfer, if you have good ball striking capability. It does have a lot of get up and go. And if you're someone who likes to bend the ball, it does that as well. Looking at the intangibles, my main thing is that, it spins a lot greenside, which is kind of crazy because it doesn't spin with the full, pitching wedge. But 65% on the green side, it definitely has a lot of bass effect around there, which is great. Durability, I struggled with. I only got a 5 out of 10 on durability. That's not great. Accuracy was a 2 out of 5 for me. Again, it sprayed all over. I did not have any type of consistency when it came to left and right. But I gave it a 5 out of 5 when it came to the pure hit feel. When you hit this golf ball just right, it does have a pretty good feel to it. Actually, I like it a lot. Value-wise, of course, is another, big plus. You can get them just dirt cheap. I mean, you can get them really cheap considering it's a 3-piece urethane. So, look, is it a solid golf ball? Yeah. Do I think it's the best value on the market? No, but I also test a lot more golf balls than most other publications do. But all I ask is, look, the Kirkland people, it's okay to love the golf ball. It's okay to be passionate about it. I love that. But don't insult people personally just because they have a criticism of it. My goodness, how far have we fallen? At number 38, we have the Taylormade Tour Response. Taylormade has done such a wonderful job at least improving this model every time it comes out. I think they still have a little ways to go, but it's been pretty solid. It started out as like a bottom tier golf ball for me, and then it got a little bit better, and then it got a little bit better, and then now here we are a few years later, and it's pretty solid. They've actually got it under control. They came out with a new model this year. When it comes to 50-yard spin, just okay. Mid-range, not bad. It'll get the job done. When it comes to yards, not great with the pitching wedge, but it had a lot of spin. So this is more of a high-spinning golf ball, what it looks like. Then we get to 7-iron, and that's where the golf ball really starts to flourish. 55th, 35th, and 24th, not bad at all. And then driver, driver's not great. Again, a little bit of calculation in there, but not much. I did not have that much luck with the driver. It's very average, in my opinion, when it comes off of the tee. What this golf ball really does well, it's okay when it comes to performance metrics, but it is the intangibles that really set it apart from the rest. If we look at those, as you can see, 75% when it comes to greenside spin, which is one of the best I have tested this year. It has a 4 out of 5 on accuracy. It has a 4 out of 5 on consistency. It had a 9 out of 10 on durability. It had a 5 out of 5 feel on pure hits, which is awesome. Really, the only negative I could find was the value isn't great. And the reason I said the value isn't great is because of one reason. The stripe now cost $3 to $4 more than the regular version. I don't like that. It's just paint. You can't tell me it actually costs that much different because I like the stripe version, so you're telling me I got to pay almost $45 a dozen for the stripe version. I don't care for that, so it takes a small hit on value, but other than that, those intangibles are awesome, and that's really what got it up high on this list. At number 37, we have the Mizuno RB Max. So this is one that I think it was the last golf ball I tested of the year that got onto this, and so it was a good one. I put off reviewing it for so long, and I wish I hadn't. I wish I had really just reviewed it when it came out 2 years ago, but I'd had such bad luck with the previous model, the 566V. I just didn't have this drive to do it, but slowly but surely, all of you started saying, hey, can you test this? It's really good. Hey, I tested this golf ball. It's awesome. I think you should. You guys were right. I should have, because look at these metrics. This is how the golf ball turned out. When we are looking at the 50-yard spin, not bad. Not bad at all. Let's look at that pitching wedge performance. First in yards, the longest I tested with the pitching wedge. 7th when it comes to pitching wedge mile per hour. 29th when it comes to pitching wedge spin. 3rd when it comes to yards. 57th when it comes to ball speed, and as you can see, the spin is non-existent. So that's why the 7-iron distance was so great, was because that spin was nothing. Then we get to the driver. Look at that, 3rd in yards, 35th in ball speed, 64th in spin. Just an incredible performance, right? And my first thought, even when looking at these numbers when I put them in, but also now, is, well, why isn't it higher? Unfortunately, the intangibles are no bueno, not very good. If we look at them, the only thing of note that I could even talk about was 4 out of 5 forgiveness. Everything else other than that, lackluster, middle of the road, average, whatever you want to call it, but not great. This golf ball, it's a 3-piece. It's not urethane. It's $30 a dozen. And I'll tell you what, for those numbers, it's solid. It explodes off the club. At number 36, we have the Titleist Pro V1X. Now, I probably could have done the little alarm thing I do, but the problem is I'm looking at this list and I'm like, oh yeah, no, that would deserve an alarm. I don't want to just bug you with the alarm all the time. Yeah, so Pro V1X really surprised me this year. This is a golf ball that I have loathed and just not cared for at all, time and time again. This year they changed it a little bit. They came out with a new model that's more bouncy, it's more explosive, it's more aimed at kind of the average swinger, average to fast swinger, which was a very nice decision. It's actually funny, you know, I'll watch reviews from other golfers, and they're the golfers who swing 115 and they're really good. They all hate the Pro V1X. They're like, I don't like it. It's bouncy and like it's not got that click, and it's kind of hilarious to watch because that's just perspective, right? I'm sitting here thinking, I hate all those clicky, you know, traditional Pro V1 models. I like the fact that this has bouncy ball and is explosive and it's a little bit forgiving. Where'd that come from? Looking at the metrics, not bad at all. As you can see, 11th when it came to 50-yard spin, which was great. And then, you know, there's nothing like spectacular there, but everything's in the yellow. Look at that. 54th, 51st, 66th, 43rd, 43rd, 67th, 54th, 70th, and then driver spin was awesome as well. I know none of those are, you know, there's only 2 in the green, I get that, but all those are solid. And sometimes having just a good, consistent performing ball that doesn't do anything, I mean, there's no weaknesses there, right? So, I mean, you may not have explosive spin or explosive distance, but it's all right in the middle, and I'll take that. Looking at the intangibles, obviously the value is not very good, but when it comes to the accuracy, it was a 4 out of 5, and I actually gave this ball, it's the only ball of the year I gave a 5 out of 5 miss-hit feel on, but not a 5 out of 5 to the pure hit feel. And you might ask, well, how's that possible? It feels better when you mishit it? No, but it feels so great when you mishit it because it almost doesn't change from the regular feel. I thought that deserved a 5 out of 5 because I thought this is an X model golf ball. It's a Pro V1X, you know, traditionally, ow, stinging my hands. This time, not the case. It actually felt really good even on missed strikes. I gave it a 5 out of 5. I thought it deserved it. I still do. So that's kind of note as well. I'm not a big Pro V1 guy or a Titleist guy by any means, but I was super impressed what they did with the X model this year, and it deserves this spot in the 30s. At number 35, we have the Seed SD05 Pro Feel. So this is the new model that Seed came out with this year, replacing their old, I forget what it was called before, but it was the 05, which is kind of like their Vice Air. It's their version of it or whatever, kind of a similar, you know, that type of thing. I really enjoyed it. I thought they did an amazing job with it. Now, this is the only Seed ball that will be in the top 100 until I can get to the testing after the fact. Then we'll put them in there. Just didn't get to them, but look at the metrics here. This is great. 49th when it came to 50-yard spin. The pitching wedge performance is absolutely outstanding at 14th and 12th. Look at the 7-iron. 33rd, 25th, 48th, 41st. Look at the driver ball speed, top 20. Across the board, those numbers are just phenomenal. An outstanding performance, and these golf balls have some pretty good intangibles as well. Price being one, you can do a subscription service, and you can get them like one every 3 months for $29 a dozen. Now, you might look at those numbers and again go, wow, Nick, this low and those performance, again, it's the intangibles, right? Because the value is great, but as you can see, that's all that's great. Everything else was middle of the road. You know, accuracy, consistency, durability, they're all not bad, but they're not really worth talking about either. And so this is a golf ball that really performs well, and for the value you're getting, I can see why a lot of you really love Seed a lot, and I still do as well. I haven't had as much, you know, contact with them this year or anything like that, but last year when I tested them, I absolutely loved them, and I can't wait to retest all the lines again with this year's metrics to see how they do. At number 34, we have the Precept Power Drive. So listen, we all know that the Precept Laddie Extreme is an all-time favorite on this channel. A lot of you just love and adore that golf ball. And I had never tested the power drive before. And so this year I actually got an opportunity to do so. And what I realized is it's actually impressive because it's for a different golfer. I think the Precept Laddie is more for the slow mid-swinger, and it's more about feel and maybe a little bit of control. This one's all about the tee. It's all about just distance and explosiveness. And when we look at the metrics, 28th in pitching wedge yards, 17th in pitching wedge ball speed, 19th in yards when it comes to the 7-iron, 12th when it comes to ball speed, and then look at the driver as well. I mean, anything distance or ball speed wise is in the top 32, and it's all in the green, which is awesome. Really, the main knock against the golf ball is the spin, and so that kind of held it back a little bit. But for a two-piece model that's like $20 for 15 golf balls, you can't beat it. It's a really good value. And tangibles wise, if we look, it had a 5 out of 5 on consistency, and of course that value is top notch. So, you know, maybe not the most impressive when it comes to the other stuff, but my goodness, a great performing golf ball, and it just continues to add to Bridgestone's value lineup this year. Their value lineup is top tier. At number 33, we have, oh, there it is. I knew another one would be coming. Man, there might actually be a couple more on this list. This is crazy. Which one is this one? A lot of you love it. A lot of you talk about it. I've gone on a couple rants about it. Here at number 33, we have the Maxfli Tour. I got to say, I got to give the Maxfli Tour some credit this year. The Tour, I don't think's ever been better than the 60s or 70s. It's always just been a golf ball I don't care for. But this year, they found something right. And I think that's a fair assessment because they're winning on tour with it. I know a lot of you like the X, but that's for really fast swingers. It's not for me. But when we look at the regular Tour model, the metrics, now, a lot of this is going to look just kind of mediocre, but let me talk about it. 50-yard spin, not great. Pitching wedge yards, You know, 7-iron didn't perform. Again, it's a little firmer for me. Spin was great with the 7-iron, though, and then driver had to be adjusted because, again, it was tested at a lower swing speed, so I had to bump it up just a little. I would say those would be in the yellow. I would say that 82nd and that 101th would be, or 101st. I did it again. I'm so sorry. But those two would probably be more in the yellow, and so, again, it's just kind of average across the board. It is a little clicky for me. I still think I don't compress it all the way most of the time. But if we look at the intangibles, first of all, of course, starting with that value, it's just phenomenal. $40 a dozen, and you can get them down to $30 if you buy in bulk. Also, 60% when it came to greenside spin, 10 out of 10 on durability, a perfect score, and 4 out of 5 on accuracy. Those really help this golf ball a lot as well. So this is a great model. A lot of people have switched from Pro V and, you know, the TP5 and the $55 a dozen for a good reason, right? And I did mention a couple videos about, do we really have proof that Maxfli lineup is that good? A lot of you had some really good comments in there, and I think this is a fair assessment now, right? Do I think that these golf balls are top of the line when it comes to everything I test? No. But for the average consumer, looking at all the tour balls, realizing that you can play a golf ball that is now played by tour people and has that same quality and has that same, you know, type of ball flight, same type of reaction, same type of feel, and you can get it for half the price. That's what makes it so appealing, and I agree with that 1000%. That's where Maxfli really succeeds. At number 32, we have the Taylormade Speed Soft Yellow. So what's really cool about this is the ink, like I said, did not even make the top 100. A couple videos ago, or last video, I can't remember now, it's hard to keep track. The regular Speed Soft made it. The yellow tested different as well. Now yellow, as we know from different like My Golf Spy studies, yellow covers are traditionally just a little bit firmer. That actually helped the average swinger because the regular Speed Soft is so soft, I kind of start to overcompress it a little bit, and so, you know, depending on the club, it kind of gets squishy, marshmallowy, but with that yellow cover, it has just a little bit more firmness to where it does help the golf ball out a little bit. If we look at these numbers, as you can see, 65th when it comes to the spin, but look at the difference in yards, ball speed, 8th, 6th, awesome. 25th, 7th, 13th. The 7-iron performance was arguably the best of the year. Now, driver performance still wasn't great, unfortunately. I did struggle to fully compress it off the driver. It spun, and it also spun the most. 121st is the most spin. So This golf ball would have been top 15, top 20, top 10 if not for that driver performance. I still did over compress it, but for soft swingers, if you're someone who's like a 85 to 90, try the yellow version. You know, try that and see if you get a little more pop off the club. You might not. If you want to go back to the other one, you can, but I definitely recommend trying both to see how you like each of them. Now, if we look at the intangibles, we are looking at a 4 out of 5 on forgiveness, a 4 out of 5 on accuracy, a 4 out of 5 on consistency, and of course, the only negative is the value, which the value isn't a super big deal breaker, but let's be honest, $25 a dozen for a two-piece is kind of the top of the line. Like two-piece, I just mentioned the Power Drive, $20 for 15 golf balls. It's on the high side, so it's a little bit of a downer. At number 31, we have, again, to close out the video, another hot take. What do we have? We are looking at yeah, the Precept Laddie Extreme. It continues to be a winner. And I mean, I think that's just what it is. It's a winner. They've had the same model since 2017. I know some people play it and don't prefer it, but the majority of you on this channel who have played it, even if it's not your gamer, you acknowledge the respect. They're around $1 a golf ball. I wish they would update the design, I really do. But the performance is really, really good and consistent. And you know, just let's look at the metrics here. I'll show you why I love it so much. 50-yard spin is not going to get it done here, I understand. But when we look at the pitching wedge performance, not bad when it comes to distance as well as ball speed. Then when we look at 7-iron, you know, spin, now it changes all of a sudden and it wants to spin like crazy, which is hilarious. 28th with the ball speed on the 7-iron and then 57th with the total distance. Driver, not bad. 51st, 57th, 37th. Those are excellent driver numbers for being a two-piece golf ball designed for like an average swinger or even a slow swinger. Love to see that. So those metrics are all above average, I would call them. They're all pretty good. But where this golf ball really shines, and I think why so many of you continue to play it, is this right here. If we look, a 5 out of 5 when it comes to accuracy, a 5 out of 5 when it comes to consistency, a 4 out of 5 on forgiveness, and the value is just through the roof. Now, the only thing I did find wrong with the intangibles is the durability. I only gave it a 5 out of 10. That really hurt this golf ball a lot. In the past, I haven't been as concerned with durability when it comes to this top 100, but this year it kind of got the same stake as everything else, 5, 5, 5, 5. So it did hurt it a little bit. This golf ball, I mean, just in hindsight, if it had been a 9 out of 10, this golf ball probably would have been top 20, top 15, just from that alone. That's how close it's gotten. It's still an amazing golf ball. It's one of my favorites, and it's what defines this channel, right? Because the Precept Laddie is one of those golf balls that every time you mention it to your friends or every time you mention it to someone, they're like, isn't that like a driving range ball? And you're like, no, it's made by Bridgestone and it's a great model and it's been around for 70 years. And that's what I love about this channel is we show those golf balls that the public may have a perception of and we show them why, no, that's not the case. And so I love this model. Guys, that is the end. Thank you so much for watching 40 through 31. Now, next video here in 2 days, we are getting into the top 30 and we are looking at some seriously good stuff. I mean, we are looking at golf balls that will be top 10 and all kinds of different performance metrics. Intangibles are great. We're getting to the really, really good stuff and I hope you're excited as I am. As always, keep watching, keep saving, keep learning. Please comment, please like, all that stuff. It really helps the channel out a bunch. And if you can, please, $1 a month. I don't think most people would notice it. It really helps the channel out a bunch. Thank you so much. Bless you all. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you in 2 days.